welcome to your horoscope for November of 2022. We're Taurus. This month, we've got another eclipse happening in your sign. So there is some stuff to see. There is some undoings to be undone. And the most beautiful part about it is that if this is a full moon lunar eclipse at 16 degrees right next to Uranus in the same space as the node, and granted it is taking on all of this Scorpio energy, but when we integrate that, the changes to Taurus life, to Taurus energy, to Taurus vibration, to Taurus value can be so fast. And also remember, we just had a new moon solar eclipse in that Scorpio area. So I'm telling you, Taurus, first of all, it has been a year of really working on Taurus, getting into the land and the breathing of Taurus, has it not? How you make money, your value, your worth, who you are, how to Taurus, like how you chill the hell out, right? Like at an evolutionary level. Taurus, yeah, you're a great builder, you're a great sustainer, all the things, but how do you relax? How do you pleasure? How do you sensual? What's stopping you from that? What blocks in your life? And Taurus, listen, I'm a Taurus too, so I love you, and I'm saying this with love. What are you holding on to from the past that is stopping your magic from flowing forward? It has been a year of looking at that. We're not done looking at that until 2023. And as a matter of fact, if we're doing the shedding work now, when Jupiter gets into the energy of Taurus in 2023, your expansion, like the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit. So we've got an eclipse that we're actually going to be starting the month with. Jupiter is coming out of retrograde in the energy of Pisces, which means we're going to review what was going on in your 11th and 12th houses for this Jupiter retrograde cycle. But also, we have to keep in mind as we're traveling through this month that Mars, the planet of go, how I get it done, how I'm moving, my desire, my energy, my zhuzh, okay, it's asleep. Is resting comfortably. Mars has figured out how to chill Taurus. We need to take a cue. So this ability to like push or to force or to shove or to anything forward, right? It's very much so the Taurus earth sign way. You know how to ground down and get it done. And the ground down and get it done is not there. Okay, so there is Taurus, this energy that I want you to hear me very clearly this month. Look for the flow. What is in flow? What can you do that comes with a sense of ease to it, which allows you to relax into the doing, right? Because anything else, when we work against Mars, we encounter frustration. Frustration, Taurus, is going to hit you in that digestive area. No, friends, it's going to mess up how you eat. It's going to mess up that vital kapha energy that is available when we're dealing with heavy earth Taurus energy. It's going to mess up your sleep cycles depending on where Taurus actually sits in your chart. But your ability to magnetize or to move with a vitality really gets shut down when we try to force our way through that, okay? All right, Taurus, let's get in here and talk about what's going on, because we've got something at the beginning, we've got a little something at the end, and in the middle it is action-packed into your 8th house. So let's take this adventure. Right at the beginning of the month on the 8th, we have got this full moon lunar eclipse, which is our full moon for the month. So it says that something needs to be ended, acknowledged, or adjusted, and the something is you. Taurus, you gotta go. Okay, so it's you. Something about you, the way you've moved, the way you've believed, what you've believed about yourself, the way you have helped yourself, fulfill what you're here to do, or the ways that you've stopped yourself. Now, this is not necessarily new information. You've been working on this all year. And at this 16 degrees of Taurus, it's like, okay, it's shedding time. It's time to end that. It's time to have a real acknowledgement about it, or it is time to actually move your hiney and make the adjustment. Now, when I'm saying move your hiney and make the adjustment, I just said Mars doesn't have the go. It's fine, because whatever you're adjusting or amending is going to be something you've already seen, and Mars does have the benefit of moving backwards, not forward right now, okay? So whatever is presenting itself to you, it is also, this is your internal life, Taurus. It's like your heart, okay? It's your heart. It's that thing where you feel deeply, deeply satisfied being Taurian, where that element of your chart where you're like, I do know how to eat well, I do know how to own my sensuality, I do know how to rest and take pleasure, is like lighting up. Or it's the questions of what do I need to know or adjust so that I can have that. The other thing that I think of, Taurus, and as a Taurus, is how good we really are at holding on to old stuff. You know, whether it's the old weight and it's like, oh my God, I like cannot lose a pound to save my life. You know, I'm like, can I lose 1 pound a year? Because that's about how it works, right? So whatever it is, Taurus is a good holder of things, of content. And some of it at that lunar level is, you know, what is that love belief? What is that pleasure belief right here and right here in your gut that's just, what is this that is ready for release and adjustment so that you can take comfort in being who you are and in your own space? All of this lunar energy is being shocked now by Uranus and the node who are here. So literally what you're realizing at this particular eclipse and over this next 3 to 6 months as it plays out, and I think it's fast. I do think it's fast, right? We're not always whipping and zipping, Taurus, but this is whip and zip energy. So it's fast, but what you're realizing and what's changing, it's surprising. And it's like, remember, Uranus comes to break something out of the rut, and that north node is pulling you towards your destiny. So it's almost as if from the inside out there is this surprising electric conversation of freedom that is becoming available for you, or of change, of swap your direction that's becoming available. And it is opposing the Sun, Mercury, Venus over here in Scorpio, which is the deep stuff, right? It's the space over here in your relationships where it's like, I got to get into that. I got to see where there's transformation available in my relationships. Maybe I even, in opposition, have to let go of an old relationship that was keeping me stuck. Or I have to see it from a different way, right? I have to have a different relationship with my partner, with my children, with myself, with my body, right? The deep level incorporations over there in that 7th house. Because remember, in the 7th house is where we make conscious, chosen, one-on-one commitments, okay? So for some of you, this may also, depending on how it lights up your chart, look like legal things, and you're having to make an adjustment. But as you integrate those relationships, the me and the we, I think you find a really different divine blossoming Taurus in the middle who's willing and ready to make some changes. So, you know, the willingness or the ability, I think, to make the changes as quickly is really in alignment with how much truth you can handle about yourself, Taurus. So you gotta look at that, right? Okay, when we get to the 16th, all the way from the 16th until the 22nd of the month, we're gonna action pack some planets into your 8th house, which means we're lighting up Sagittarius season. So first in the gate on the 16th is Venus moving into the energy of Sagittarius. Then we'll welcome Mercury, and then we'll welcome the Sun. And then right behind that on the 22nd, we've got a new moon at 1 degree of Sagittarius. So what all of this looks like for you energetically, Taurus, this month is lighting up the 8th house space. Okay. We've had everything running through your relationship zone, and you've been re-looking at your commitments, maybe making or recommitting to commitments in some way, or shedding them, whatever that looks like. And I think some of that has been energetic commitments as well, Taurus. Listen, you can still be in love with Johnny from 3rd grade and you haven't seen him in 30 years. It's just the nature of Taurus energy, right? So there could be energetic commitments. And now as we roll into this Sagittarius season of detox, it's 8th house. This is intimacy. You see into me. I see into me. I allow the light in, right? I allow the dark out as well. I allow light to be cast within me. I detox my life, which this is a great season for you. Every November, Taurus, is a fantastic energetic time for you to detox your life. Like, what needs to go? Are you going to wear those pants ever again? Tell the truth. What's going on in that relationship? What's going on in your thinking? What's happening in your body? Right? Taurus, what's happening in your body? Is your digestive system on track? Are you holding extra weight around your hips? What is going on that you can detox because you're holding on to it as a possession instead of something that gets to be fiery and Sagittarian? It's free. There's free knowledge, there's free movement, there's free philosophies. Now, the other thing I think of in Sagittarius season for you is that truly, because Sagittarius wants to shift the focus from all of that deep, meaty Scorpio kind of energy to this new adventure, this expansion, this, well, wait a minute, there's more out there. It's kind of this vision, I think, for you, Taurus, where it's like, okay, I've made a little bit of peace with the idea that my relationships are different. I don't fully understand all of it, but I am willing to look at it or see it from a different way. I'm willing to investigate what's out there and available to me. And Sagittarius takes you on that adventure. It also is the place where in detoxing the philosophies or the beliefs or these ideas or the wounds that we've had down there, we also get the opportunity to build new philosophies because we see that, you know, my faith level, the level of which I speak and can understand and share a certain language are not working as well as I would like them to be. My connections to joint resources, maybe a partner, maybe finances, these all get different as well, and they go on the adventure of expansion. Now, if you needed to, if you thought to yourself, okay, listen, when we whip over here into December, into Capricorn season, I want to expand actually into the world, right? I want to travel, I want to go to school, I want to train, I want to teach, I want to do something like that. And you were thinking, I need to take out a loan or I need to do something like that. The 8th house season is really where you're going to do a little bit more investigation of that. So, you know, also, this will bring up questions, Taurus, of what is the money game? What's going on in your life around finances, you know? So just something to be thinking of. Other things in the 8th house energy that you can be working on this season are these ideas of sex, right? Topics around sex, around sexuality, around the reproductive system, around birth. Many people are in a position right now where the world has made space for them to work out their birthing traumas, right? And to bring like lifetimes worth of healing to those moments that were happening, right? There's a lot of just expansive knowledge that's available for healing. And there are a lot of expansive knowledge for people coming out as healers to kind of midwife in that detox, that healing, and that new understanding as well. In a very practical way, if you needed to do death, taxes, inheritance, insurance, any of those things, this is definitely the season to take those things on as well. Okay, as we're going to close out this month on the 23rd, we see Jupiter coming out of retrograde at 28 degrees of Pisces. Now, we saw Jupiter enter into pre-retrograde shadow time at 28 degrees of Pisces on May 4th, which was my birthday and some of your birthdays. Okay, so we saw that happen. So what was going on in your life at that time in your 11th house? 11th house, think friends, organizations, grouping, technology, where you may be aligned with a tribe or something like that, right? It's a very social kind of area of your chart, and were you refunctioning some ideas or ideals in that arena of your life? Were you expanding out for the first time? I can tell you flat out, for me, on my birthday, May 4th, was my first live conference in person with OPA, the Organization for Professional Astrology, right? So I had a retrograde right in that area of my life, and now I got to look at what did I learn from that as we're here in November. So what was going on in your life? Now, Jupiter has taken its retrograde from 8 degrees of Aries to 28 degrees of Pisces. So we see it coming direct in this 11th house, and as Jupiter now begins to travel forward and will leave its post-retrograde shadow time, be all the way back to the 8 degrees of Aries on Valentine's Day of 2023, now you can go, what's going on in my lesson base around not the groupings and things like that, that social area, but my spirituality. What's going on around my spiritual practice, how I rest, how I restore, how I revive my life, where I have downtime, where, if I have immune issues or I have other ailments that can't be seen until they present themselves. And I think of things like alcoholism, right? It's there and you can't see it until you see it. Or another illness or creative projects. That's when you'll really have this leap forward. And I do want you to keep in mind that Jupiter moves into your sign next year. It moves into Taurus. So the great expansion of your wisdom and who you are on the out there kind of stage, or in an expanded stage kind of way, is very much so available. But the strength of what you have to stand on and be confident is dependent upon the ease in which you're learning. Let me take that back. You don't have to do it the easy way. Hell, that's not always the way, is it? On the ability you have to digest pieces of truths about yourself and where you've held yourself up and where you're actually available for expansion, and how you have aligned yourself from tribes and social groupings and ideas and organizations, and where that aligns spiritually for you to get ready to step up and to step out. Right? I have this constant thought in my mind, even as I do business and I talk to my children, is where are you at spiritually? Because if you can stand on it spiritually, then financially, mentally, and emotionally, you'll be in a straight line to do that. If you're not in alignment with it spiritually, then the rest will kind of tip and go sideways. So this is definitely the season that you're going to get to start to engage that conversation. And then Jupiter, as it moves back through that energy of Aries here in February, it is going to run through Aries. So I'm telling you, buckle those seatbelts, because you want to make sure that your spiritual life is on par to be strong enough, and so that you have the self-confidence to move out into the world or move into what your next adventure is in a very expanded way. And we'll talk more about that in the 2023 forecasts as well, okay? All right, my absolutely beautiful Taurus friends, let me know in the comment section down below what was going on for you in May. What's your experience been like of these eclipses this year as we get up to the November timeframe. But whatever it is, the changes that are coming are coming, and I think they are coming quite quickly as we're going to close out this year. My beautiful friends, I love you, and I will see you in the next month. Bye, everybody.